a similar story. Same starting 11 for head coach John Hackworth that won in Pittsburgh last week. A 4-3-3, and look forward to those midfielders in Magnus Rasmussen, their leading goal scorer, 15 on the year.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, he's getting a lot of success this year because he can finish, but he's getting a lot of success because of the attention that Luke Spencer draws.
This is our old broadcast perch right atop the pitch on the sidelines here at Carroll Stadium. Thank you so much for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer on Wish TV and ESPN Plus. And this day, Brad, is very reminiscent of the only other time the Indy 11 hosted a home playoff match the month of November. That was 3 years ago in the NASL semifinals, a bright, sunshine-filled day. That one went the way of the Indy 11 as well by a score of 1-0. This is the 7th time these two teams have met since May of last year. They played 3 times in the regular season last year. The opening round of the USL Cup playoffs a season ago. That match won by Louisville 4-1. Played to a pair of 1-1 draws this season. June 29th, down the street at Lucas Oil Stadium. And then 1-1 in Louisville, August 30th. Kelly with the left foot.
Love it.
Not exactly a threatening chance on frame there. Hubbard had it eyeballed the entire way. Goal kick coming in minute number 2.
I tell you what, you got to like that. You got to like pulling the trigger right away. No hesitation for Dane Kelly.
Our injury update brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Evan Newton, Lucas Farias, neither in the 18 today for the Indy 11. Of course, Jordan Farr has been masterful in spelling Evan Newton numerous times throughout the season. He has been in goal since the second half of the loss at Ottawa back on October the 2nd. And the second-year pro now has a pair of playoff clean sheets the last 2 Saturdays.
And I tell you what, the calm, the confidence, he's ready for this moment. You can just see it in his body language.
Farr keeps that away from Luke Spencer and plays a long-distance ball looking for Dane Kelly. Quickly headed back to Chris Hubbard. Time now for the keys to the match presented by your Central Indiana Honda Dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
Tell you, for Indy, it's to press the back line. If you watch the tape of the Pittsburgh Lou City game last week, they did an effective job of pressing Lou City, and they weren't able to clear the second line, and they left a lot of opportunities for Pittsburgh. Also, Pasher. He has been on everybody's scouting report from the opening whistle of this season, yet nobody's been able to stop him, keep feeding him the ball. For Lou City, the interplay of Openo and McCabe is dynamic. Sometimes they're on both sides, sometimes they switch sides. It's incredible the way they play off of Luke Spencer. And then speaking of Spencer, he's been phenomenal. Get him the ball on the ground, get him the ball in the air. He draws the defenders in, and then they compress the space for him, and he finds a release in the midfield. And if you don't compress the space behind, he'll turn, he'll go, and he'll be dangerous himself.
Spencer is captain clutch for Lou City. He scored the only goal to be had in last year's USL Cup final when Phoenix Rising went down in defeat on the campus of the University of Louisville a season ago, with Didier Drogba on the field for Phoenix Rising. Spencer, his 3rd year with Lou City. He was their leading goal scorer in 2017, kind of played a secondary role behind guys like Cameron Lancaster and Ilya Illich a season ago, and this year, second behind Magnus Rasmussen.
He's a perfect target forward.
Ownby gets by Ouimet, tries to play it through. Barrett has other ideas. Ball cleared back to midfield. Foul whistled against Paco Craig, which we'll say that a lot. He is one of the more physical, aggressive players in this league, but simply put, he's also one of the best defenders in this league.
He really is, and he gets forward well, too. You got to watch him coming out of the back.
Their wind will be a factor again. This is an east-west pitch here inside of the track facility on the campus of IUPUI. But the weather conditions, about 1,000 times better than they were 2 weeks ago when Indy played through the remnants of a tropical storm to beat the New York Red Bulls by a score of 1-0.
I'll tell you, great opportunity there. Pasher knocks it back to Macca King, and then immediately he draws Jimenez in. He immediately explodes into that space. Macca decided to go far side, but that's going to be on today because you've got to pay attention to Tyler Pasher when he checks back.
3-5-2 the alignment for the Indy 11. 4-3-3 the setup for Lou City. Long distance ball to Dane Kelly. Hubbard backing up. Kelly full speed. Kelly one touch, maybe one touch too many. Tosh can't take a chance. Corner coming for the Indy 11 in minute number 5.
I tell you, he thought about pulling the trigger from far out and didn't, and Tosh was able to catch him.
Kelly with 3 goals in the final 2 regular season games leading into the playoffs. Met the only tally 2 weeks ago for Indy. Pasher the lone goal last week. And as per usual, Ioze will take the corner flag service for the Indy 11.
I'm going to tell you, a little different look. Tyler Pasher is usually around midfield on corner kicks. He's come up in the event of a short ball from Ioze.
Ioze plays it in. Edge of the 6. Barrett was the target. Louisville City got ahead there first. Flicked forward. Jimenez on the chase. Gibson retreats back. Plays it to Farr. And Farr has to turn on the Jets just to track that ball down. He'll lob it towards Gibson. And he'll somewhat saunter back inside of the 6. Threat averted for the Indy 11.
Just great composure. That ball that was played back by Gibson had a little pace on it. Was coming in pretty hot. Was bouncing. Tough ball to handle. And Jimenez kept the pressure on. Jordan Farr gets a touch, collects the ball, nicely touches it over right back to Tyler Gibson.
Hubbard and King will be fighting that Sun, looking in that direction. And Sun will be a factor, and probably more so for Hubbard in goal, facing the other direction in the second half. Cannot take a chance. Plays that ball to the side. Throw in coming. Taken by McCabe for Lou City.
And I'll tell you, that the pace of Ownby creates some problems. He came in and he changed the game a little bit with Pittsburgh last week, and he can do it here as well.
Ownby, McCabe, Jimenez, Spencer, all guys that started in last year's USL Cup final. Paco Craig would be in that group too. Rasmussen, McMahon, Tosh, guys that were in the 18 that night. Rasmussen played very much just briefly at the end of that championship match.
And here's the thing, even though Spencer and Rasmussen are the big goal scorers for this team, you can't ignore the other. You've got guys that have scored 3, 4, 5 goals all surrounding them. So while you've got a key on those two, you can't ignore the players that are running off of them.
Yeah, Ownby and McCabe especially are guys that have been there, done that. They've held the championship trophy for this franchise. Drew Connor sets the ball down. King with the restart. Ownby got in the way. And then a foul given to King.
And I tell you, that's one of the things that Ownby brings to the game. He's kind of just a pest. And he's got great pace. He's always around the ball. He'll fight for any loose ball. And then he creates moments like this. This should be a ball that's in Indy 11's attacking third. Ownby has brought it down and flipped the table on this game.
Ownby sends it in far with no traffic in front of him. Makes a relatively easy play. And Pasher and Ioze. That left side combination that's been electric all season long for the Indy 11. Pasher couldn't get a controlling touch that time, and Lou City with the quick restart. The Sports Niche match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong. This is the 3rd time these two franchises have played in this facility. The other 2 were in the U.S. Open Cup. Lou City winning an extra time in 2015. Indy 11 taking the decision in 2016 before they became both members of the USL a season ago.
Yeah, every time these two teams have played here in the mic, it's an elimination game. Love that.
It's Indiana and Kentucky.
That's true.
It's a rivalry in whatever it is. Whether it's the old ABA days of the Colonels and the Pacers, the Indiana-Kentucky All-Star Series, IU and UK, us and them. Whatever your perspective might be, King touches that last throw-in coming for Louisville. Called the Indy, Louisville, Cincy triumvirate last year. The triangle of hate between those 3 cities.
And I'll tell you what, even, there's such rivalries between the 3 cities, but all 3 have got quality, soccer teams.
But obviously now FC Cincinnati in Major League Soccer, the focus for these two, one another. Long distance ball for Pasher, just a bit too strong that time, but he appreciates the idea from Iose. Hubbard over to make the play for Louisville.
And you take a look at Indy and the pace of both Kelly and Pasher, and the thought is, right when you get on the back line, can you drop a ball in there that they can chase?
Both Indy 11 goals against Louisville, first half goals in the regular season. Both Lou City goals, second half goals against the Indy 11. The goal that Louisville scored here on the Del Piccolo free kick, an absolute beauty. Connor couldn't get there in time, and the ball from Speedy Williams wearing the captain's armband. Just behind Ownby, and Carl Wimet with the throw-in coming up. Fan Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship in many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Here's Rasmussen. Plays it to Ownby. Ownby's got 3 targets inside of the 18. Plays it back to Jimenez. And Jimenez, a rare giveaway for the player that has led Louisville in assists in each of the last 3 seasons. Great pressure by Williams. King eventually finds the safety valve in Wimet. Kelly trying to sneak behind Craig. Spencer gives chase. Barrett with him step for step. Open O onside.
Patty Barrett, good read. Hey, one of the things that you notice that's different in this match and when these teams played before is the amount of time they're each giving each other on the ball. The pressure is right there on that first touch.
Spencer looking to make the turn. The Spencer-Barrett matchup will not lack for physicality today.
Oh, that's going to be beautiful to watch.
I believe the last 2 times that Spencer has played here in Indianapolis, he's ended up with some sort of head wrap involved. I know that happened this past year in late June. Asher off to the races, finding some seams. Plays it across to Macaulay King. King an assist here 2 weeks ago. Plays the cross, and Hubbard makes an easy play because there was not a corresponding run made to the ball of Macaulay King.
He's so effective on that one-touch ball from this flank play here that, you know, it catches teams and before they can get set. That I anticipated that was what it was going to be. Instead, he took a touch, set it up, and dropped it into the keeper.
Kenny Walker, the read, but danger. Falls right to Magnus Rasmussen. Rasmussen, Spencer to his right, shoots it with his left. Blocked by Barrett. Throw in coming in. We have a player down for Indy, and I believe that is Carl Wimet.
A great bit of defending. You had Patty Barrett holding up play, and then Wimet comes in to take the double team away and to force Rasmussen onto his left foot, not giving him the option of the right, which makes it an easier read for far in goal.
Wimet holding his left side, but Trainer will not come out. He will remain in the game.
I think he took that thing square in the solar plexus and just knocked the wind out of him.
Walker the pressure. One of 3 former FC Cincinnati players on the pitch today for Indy. Walker, Gibson, and Barrett. They have all been invaluable all season long. Gibson playing in his 37th league match of the campaign.
Unreal.
He missed all of 6 minutes this season. Craig, the long diagonal ball that Hackshaw had sized up. Opano the target. Iose trying to pester him. Good combination play here by Lou City. Ownby sitting back post if they can make the corresponding run. Ball clear to the side by Barrett. Throw in coming for Lou City.
You can see the game plan on both Spencer and Rasmussen. It's really to reduce the touches of those players. And that is how you got to be effective. If that ball comes into Luke Spencer's feet or his upper body and he's able to get that first touch, they run so many different things off of him. The best way to defend him is not let him get that touch.
Ownby, top of the 18. Spencer makes the turn. Spencer gives it a blast. Ricochets off the back of either Walker or Barrett. Well-timed run, but the turf,
it's a great thought,
is a bit hard here, especially as it gets colder at Carroll Stadium. That ball just took off, but you're right. Great speed of thought by Louisville.
And you take a look at a game like this where your entire season is on the line. It comes down to the ideas that you have in the attacking third and how complicated can you make the runs and how complicated can you make the balls to make the decision-making for that back line difficult.
Focus on Jordan Farr, second-year player out of Salem, Oregon. Pasher plays it forward. Hubbard, kind of a late decision, but got there in time. He waited a tenth of a second later. Kelly's in on goal. So you referenced Jordan Farr. Want to say hello to all of his family watching back in Oregon. Had a chance to talk with Jordan on Thursday, and he said the viewing party on the West Coast was going to be strong for this one.
That's awesome. Hey, thank you for letting us borrow your son here in Indy. He's been fantastic.
He did not play a single minute last year, but was one of the first players re-signed during the course of the offseason. Farr making his 12th appearance of the year, his 10th start. In his 9 starts, he's got 5 clean sheets. And what's unique about this match for Farr is that in the first 2 playoff matchups, he had not played against Red Bulls 2 or Nashville during the regular season. He was in goal when these 2 teams played here in late June. Foul called against Dane Kelly. Restart coming next to the corner flag for Louisville. And Kelly earning a talking to. And he and Paco Craig again exchange some pleasantries. And frankly, these 2 sides expect this to be physical. It's everybody knows everybody here. Again, 7th time they've played in the last 18 months.
Everybody's going to wake up tomorrow needing an ice bath.
The team colors could be well represented. Some blue, some purple.
Oh, that's a great win.
Diagonal ball by McCabe. Can Opano get there? Yes.
Wow, what a hit. What a strike by McCabe.
Opano's got 3 targets inside of the 18. McMahon sends it in. Nobody's sitting back post. And Macaulay King will knock this ball towards the middle of the field and find Dane Kelly with a perfect touch. Now, can Connor get there in time? No. Fans, Cliff Bar Baking Company, Indianapolis, is proud to team up with the Indy 11 to provide meals to IPS students through their Meals for Miles program. So layer that on to the amount of time that Tyler Gibson has played this year, and the fact that he's running 9-10 miles a match on a regular basis. Oh, and having one of the highest completion percentages from a passing standpoint in the history of the franchise.
Unreal. Just the way he plays, too. You wouldn't think he'd be able to have that kind of durability.
By the way, the reason you heard the roar from the crowd, or maybe more of a groan is the better way to describe it. Assistant referee pointed towards the Indy 11, then immediately said, "No, that's my mistake, pointing the wrong direction. Ball belongs to Louisville." As both teams kind of pinned into this near sideline as we speak, as the wind gust begin to play a factor. And Jimenez plays that long diagonal ball. Opano and Hackshaw tangle on the far sideline. Hackshaw has room to run and has Pasher and Kelly onside. Elects to play to Pasher.
Tough ball.
But couldn't deliver the pass.
And I like the thinking of Lou City here in the middle third, looking for that big angle ball out to Opano. But when you look, and Hackshaw is there, and Hackshaw has been so consistent in denying a ball into the forwards' feet that it's going to be something that's going to struggle for Lou City if that's the game plan. I think you got to keep going to find Spencer's feet.
Ownby the target this side. the pit ball of the ball. Lets it trickle directly to far without much of a spot of bother. Fans, this portion of this match presented by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Take your business to the next level in a state that works. Walker got tied up with the referee, or he would have had a play on that ball.
Tough one, because that would have been a really unique opportunity to see what he does with that ball. And that was what I was talking about. I picked it up in the video with Lou City against Pittsburgh last week. Is they do a nice job of clearing that first line from their back line, but they leave that ball in there in that second level. And that's just that ball that Kenny Walker was able to pick off.
McMahon made an outstanding gallop trying to track that down. But basically a stiff arm from Barrett meant that play was going to come to its conclusion. Walker lacing up a boot at midfield while play goes on behind him. And Gibson fouled. And yes, you can expect physical play, but that was a bit too much. Easy whistle for our referee. And the winner of this match will host whomever wins between Real Monarchs and El Paso Locomotive. That match is next Sunday night, 7:30 on ESPN2 and ESPN Deportes. If Louisville wins, it'll be the third consecutive year they have hosted the Cup final.
What a model of consistency the franchise is. I mean, you take a look, they've gone through coaching changes, but the philosophy from the top to the technical staff, to the players, to everybody that's involved has been consistent over the 3 years that we've seen them make this incredible run.
Hubbard makes the easy play. Again, a reminder, fans, the USL Championship Final promises to be the biggest in league history. Tune in next Sunday, 7:30 Eastern Time, ESPN2, ESPN Deportes. Again, one or two of these four teams, El Paso, Real Monarchs versus Lou City or Indy 11, 7:30 on ESPN2 and ESPN Deportes next Sunday night.
I tell you, I'm a fan of the energy that Dane Kelly is spending pressing Hubbard on balls that come to his feet. He's going to get a turnover. They're going to have either balls that are played out of bounds, or he's going to be able to nick one of them.
Great win by King against Ownby. Better play by Craig to knock the ball away from Kelly. Every matchup seems like a juicy one right now between these two teams.
It's great. And it comes down to so much in this where you've got these individual matchups all over the field is who's going to make the mistake, who's going to take the risk that is either going to have a giant reward or going to be a mistake.
Well, we saw Hackshaw making the run that time, and that was something that was unique about last week's match against Nashville. We saw Neville far more involved in the offensive attack and possession going forward than we have in a long time. First time we've seen him make that type of run in this match.
Yeah, and I tell you, I love it, and I think the comfort to make that run comes with the fact that he's got a guy like Iose in front of him, who's got the soccer IQ to say, hey, he's going, I need to sit a bit, and Iose also has the defensive experience and presence that if Hackshaw takes off, he can hold the line for him in the back.
Connor tracking back to play this ball to far with Speedy Williams with Connor step for step. The distribution finds Iose at the midfield stripe. And McMahon really sitting on Iose and forces the giveaway. Now he's got options to his left. He's got two, if not three. Ball played forward. Spencer the target. We met.
Good
we'll
decision.
Keep that shy of the corner flag. Throw in coming for Lou City.
Good decision. We met was not under a great deal of pressure. He might have been able to do something a little bit safer with the ball than that. However, the team was out of shape defensively. Iose was down. Hackshaw was pulled out. Best thing to do in there is say, let's knock it out. Let's get ourselves set again.
Great defending by McMahon to force the giveaway. He turned 33 on Tuesday. He was a guy that was a backup for Lou City for most of last year. With some of their departures, he's been thrust into a starting role. He's been up for the challenge. And really that kind of started at the midway point of the season for McMahon, and he's never left the lineup. This year has been about the veteran depth that Lou City has put on display. They lost their top 2 goal scorers in Cameron Lancaster and Ilya Illich. Of course, Illich playing now for the Indy 11. Ball sent in, looking back post for Spencer. Rasmussen looking to settle, couldn't make the turn. Connor got in the way and eventually walks it back to midfield.
What a dangerous moment that was.
Other key departures at the end of last season for Lou City. Their longtime goalkeeper Greg Ranchetsing and defender Kyle Smith, both following their former head coach James O'Connor to play for Orlando City. And a bit of a giveaway as McMahon couldn't keep that ball. Throw in coming for Indy.
Think of that. Back-to-back champions.
Yep.
They lose these high, impactful goal scorers. They lose their goalkeeper, and they're right back in the thick of things.
By the way, this match brought to us by Honda Manufacturing of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. This Lou City team returned 18 players from last year on this year's roster. It took them a while to get going. They weren't in a playoff position until the last day of the regular season. And here they are, Brad. They win today. They're hosting the championship yet again.
And it's just, I'll pound on it as many times as I have to. It speaks to culture.
Player down for Lou City. It is a goal kick coming for Hubbard. I believe that is Tosh that is the player down, the veteran from Northern Illinois University that gets the hand up from our match referee.
And there was some contact. I think he was trying to sell it a little bit more than perhaps it was.
So minute number 26, kind of a chance for both teams to catch a break. Not really a nervous moment on goal yet for either side. To this point, this one has played out almost exactly as expected. And that is that there is very little that separates these two teams.
And that's the ball they're looking for. They're just trying to, knock it around a little bit, create a little bit of a window that Spencer can come back, check the ball, find his feet, and then make the runs off of that.
Farr able to make that play.
What comfort you have when you've got Iose on the field. No matter what kind of pressure he's under, no matter where he's at, just get him the ball, and you're not going to lose it.
Foul given. Advantage is going to be played. Iose, let's see if he's lobbying for a card here. And I think it's going to be because there's been hardly anything that's been card worthy. It's more of a talking to at this juncture of the match.
Yeah, and I honestly think that Iose is saying, hey, if this is a foul, why wasn't that a foul when there was a little bit of contact on both of them? And it's just, players doing their part to politic a little bit, maybe for that next call.
Iose turns 34 at the end of this month. This is his second year with the Indy 11 after spending 4.5 years with the New York Cosmos. What a find he was for this Indy 11 team that did not officially join the USL until mid-January of last year. Started putting a roster together early February, and Owen went out and won their season opener on March 24th this season ago.
Unbelievable.
Iose, one of the players back from a season ago of those that are on the field today. That would be Iose and Tyler Pasher and Carl Womette. Jordan Farr has only played a single minute last year. So 7 new faces at the beginning of this season on the field today for the Indy 11.
And you look at that, and you look at the position they're in right now and the chance to host the final, and that comes down to having the time to prepare and actually go and find the players that fit how you want to play.
Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive Indiana Members Credit Union Indy 11 debit card at any Indiana Members Credit Union branch or online at imcu.com today. Offside flag goes up for the first time. Farr just covered about 2/3 of the field with that left boot. Player goes down. It's going to take more than that to draw a whistle today. I think this match has been well officiated so far. Pasher trying to find space behind Craig. Then get the ball to his left foot. Ownby Good back pressure that time by Ownby. Pasher's not giving up. Now Ouimet. Pasher had just broken off that run to stay onside and blew up the timing of the pass. Now Jimenez for Rasmussen. Gibson a stumble. Tough. Spencer onside. Has 3 choices to his right. Let's keep it on his foot for now. Couldn't slide it through 3 defenders. Takes a tumble. What I said about contact applies at the other end too.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, there were so many good opportunities that he had to play that early ball.
Kelly trying to win the foot race on Tosh. Tosh had good positioning that time.
And there's times, sometimes you get a talented forward in a situation like that. They're looking for a little better look, a little better, opportunity, and then everything closes down. The early ball was probably going to be more effective, whether it was a shot or a ball bent in behind the back line for Luke Spencer.
And Iose going to, again, have a conversation with our referee, basically saying, hey, you and I are having too many conversations. Let's settle this down just a bit.
Fellas, let's play nice.
Iose right now has no problem with the team in white. He's got a bit of an issue with the team in yellow currently. I think that's just the emotions of this match. Again, 2nd year in a row that these two have had their playoff paths converge. Last year, Lou City, the 2 seed. Indy, the 7 seed. This year, Indy, the 3, Louisville, the 4.
Good decision.
Ouimet, though, couldn't keep it at his feet. Spencer likes to play for possession to Jimenez. Rasmussen. Now Ownby.
A well-defended moment.
9 behind the ball right now for Indy 11, which forces a play like that, trying to switch the side of the attack. Trying to create a little more space at the edge of the 18. No window to shoot just yet. Jimenez couldn't blast it through. Connor got in the way. I would say possession maybe has been just a bit in favor of Lou City.
Yeah, and I think that plays into how both teams want to play. Lou City is looking to build, try and find the target's feet and run off of them, where Indy 11 is looking to see if they can find pockets of space for their pace to run onto. Neither game plan is wrong. It fits the talent of the team.
Jimenez will knock that ball towards the middle of the park. Reminder, fans, join us every Saturday morning for Soccer Saturday on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Ownby the build-up. Barrett back towards midfield. And Iose trying to find a little more less occupied real estate. And Pasher takes a tumble.
What vision by Patty Barrett. He's here, he's under pressure, the ball's coming in, he's going to clear the ball out with his head. Instead of just heading it, he heads it to Iose.
This morning on Soccer Saturday, talked to Indy 11 head coach Martin Running, today's starting goalkeeper in Jordan Farr, and Howie Lindsay from Lou City, and Soccer City Radio joined us for a little perspective. Kelly trying to chest it down, looking to find Connor. Connor's run was broken up. Kelly thought there was a handball involved there. Referee says no. But again, those opportunities, more of the quick developing nature for Indy in this half.
And they're not going to lead to long stretches of possession, but they're going to lead to some dangerous opportunities. And you take a look, that's the second, third time that Hubbard has been a little bit indecisive in coming off of his line. Great shot stopper. Had a couple great saves last week, but he's been a little suspect on these balls that are played just in between the 6 and the 12.
And Hubbard played his college soccer at Notre Dame. He is a Louisville native. He was the backup at the start of the year to Ben Lutz. That's going to be a handball against McCabe. But we saw Hubbard for both matches against Indy 11 really kind of took over the job in mid-June and never let it go.
And he's been fantastic. I tell you, Nico Brett last week had a shot from about 25 yards out, upper corner, and I don't know how Hubbard was able to make that save.
What can you do with this ball from this location, Brett?
You have the shot is probably off the table unless something is very poorly set up. Right now you got a couple of opportunities. You can either just lift it up to the 12, see if you can get a little flick on. You can play a ball out to Iose, redirect the attack.
They chose the Iose redirection option. Looking back post. Player goes down. Player draws the foul. Player that went down was Oscar Jimenez for Louisville.
Like I say, I don't care where the ball is set up. Your option to play to Iose's feet is always a great option.
McMahon, the ball at his feet now for Lou City. And nothing that Openo can do with it, and frankly lost it in the sun. And as you're watching this match, the sun is starting to get lower in the sky to the right as you're watching today's game. As the Indy 11 are going from east to west in half number one. And again, that could be an issue for Hubbard in goal next half.
You remember when we had those 7 o'clock kickoffs here, that first 15-20 minutes, the goalkeeper on this end had that sun right in his eyes.
You see a goalkeeper wearing a hat every once in a while. There was a good chance from 2014 to 2017. You saw it here at Carroll Stadium. Good pressure applied by Openo. Openo was acquired right before Indy and Louisville played at the end of June. Traded for Lucky Quesada from the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Openo played for head coach John Hackworth in the Philadelphia Union system for many years. Native of France, but played his collegiate soccer at Princeton. Good work by King to win that ball away from Rasmussen. Pasher making the run.
Great ball.
Perfectly weighted ball. Pasher's onside. Wants to get that left foot. Plays it across. Walker the volley. Speedy Williams got in the way. King lifts it. Kelly hits it. Hubbard saves it.
Perfectly timed jump
By both Kelly and Hubbard.
Oh, I tell you what, there's no way that Kelly should have gotten to that ball.
Dane Kelly with 10 goals this season. The all-time leading goal scorer in the USL Championship. Looking for his first playoff tally of this year. Corner number 2.5 for the Indy 11 in minute number 38.
And you look at a completely different look that the 11 has on corners.
Short ball, but offside flag went up.
With bringing Pasher up for the short corner, it must be something that they've seen on film with Lou City.
As a reminder, fans, you can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season. The USL is excited to announce that the championship in League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 games on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Outstanding crowd here today at Carroll Stadium. Good amount of purple in the building. It's not surprising given the proximity of these two teams. I mean, my goodness, proximity is in the nickname of the rivalry. The Louisville-Indianapolis Proximity Association Football Contest.
What a ball by Kenny Walker.
And Iose gets whistled for the foul on McMahon. By the way, latest update from Salt Lake City. Again, these two matches being played simultaneously. That's not by design, just the way that it worked out. Real Monarchs and El Paso Locomotive 0-0 like this one. King whistled for a foul. course, El Paso Locomotive, a first-year franchise, and led by a guy we got a lot of respect for here in Mark Lowry, former head coach of the Jacksonville Armada in their NASL days of playing against the Indy 11.
And I tell you what, the moment he took the reins of that club, it changed completely.
They're the 6th seed out west. Real Monarchs the 4. Barrett, little contact there, no whistle. Kelly the target. McMahon got a boot in the way at the proper time. And now Walker with the proper touch. Pasher looking to make the turn. Iose will switch it up to King. Now Ouimet factors in the attack. Ouimet. Hubbard. He and a defender not exactly on the same page. It does not come back to hurt Lou City. In fact, they've got an opportunity here. Ownby charging forward is Opino. Barrett got in the way.
Well played. If Ownby is able to flick that ball, heads up, past Patty Barrett, Opino is in on goal.
Opino with 4 goals this season since joining Lou City in late June. Pasher, the Carib, plays it properly. Kelly flags up. The ball broke properly for Pasher. It did not for Kelly. Take a look. By the way, the final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of this first half, presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Any tactical changes you expect to see in half number 2, Brad?
No, I think both teams have been effective playing, coming in and doing what they wanted to. I think you've got Lou City is finding Spencer and running off of him very well, and he's done a masterful job of serving as a target. And the 11 are looking to find those pockets for to utilize their pace up front.
Ouimet the lead for King. King looking back post. That's headed away by Tosh, and McMahon can do nothing with it. Opposite flag corner kick coming for Indy 11, their 3rd corner of the opening half. Walker will take this one. They like the right foot of Walker from that opposite side. Indy puts 6 in the box. Jimenez and McCabe responsible for marking. Pasher and Iose outside of the 18. Walker sends it in. Serve. King didn't get the touch he wanted to it. Hackshaw thought there was a deflection there. Official says no. Goal kick coming.
Well placed by Kenny Walker, right in that little sliver of space just out of the keeper's range, but where you've got a line of players that can attack the ball.
And it was 1-0 at halftime in favor of Indy 11 in each of these 2 matches this year. Both on Tyler Pasher goals. Kelly. Great job by Craig. Much as we compliment Patty Barrett for getting in the way, we say the same thing about Paco Craig for Lou City.
Yeah, and that's a great touch by Dane Kelly. He's so effective when he does that. Just flicks it up and then, squirts around the defender and picks the ball up on the other side. And Paco Craig has read that perfectly.
By the way, this match presented by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Take your business to the next level in a state that works. Ownby trying to latch onto that one. Barrett wins the foot race. And Iose will help clean up the mess.
Get that turn.
Pasher somehow races his way through about half the Lou City roster and then is onside for the corresponding pass from King. Pasher plays it across.
Good ball.
And Hubbard, that ball all of a sudden appeared at his feet.
Yeah, and I tell you, that is where Indy has been very, very effective, is playing Pasher and Dane Kelly just in front of the back line, committing the back line to that space, knocking it back, and then finding that pocket in behind them.
Ownby onside. McMahon the give and go. Connor. not expect to see much in the way of stoppage time before halftime. Pasher deemed to be offside because it's been largely a whistle-free first half. We've not seen a card going either direction. Backshaw tracking Spencer well away from the 18-yard box. Good read by Barrett. Kept it away from Rasmussen. And again, Kelly trying to find space around Craig. Fantastic ball from Macaulay King. One additional minute will he play before halftime. Kelly trying to just carve out some room. Craig giving him little to work with.
Who's great defending by Craig.
Will knock it back to Jordan Farr. Farr lifts it up and over Spencer. McCabe, the supporting run. Looking for Spencer. Gibson got in the way, but foul given. And a card going to be shown, it looks like here. Directed at Patty Barrett.
And that's a tough one. You're hoping you can get a little bit of a touch on the ball or a bad touch by Lou City closer to midfield. But as he explodes it and just reaches the edge of the attacking third, he had too many options that the foul was a great way for the 11 to get back and get themselves set.
So the final touch of the half could come from a free kick. And as Rory pointed out, Lou City has a restart goal against Indy earlier this year.
And this is within shooting range, so they have everything on the table. They can play something underneath, they can play something out wide, they can play something over the top, or they can look to have a go at goal.
The player that hit that goal, not in the 11. That would be Paolo Del Piccolo, who had the game winner last week against Pittsburgh. McCabe's got 3 goals this season. He is standing over this ball. The native of Dublin, 29 years of age, and a longtime member of this Lou City roster.
There's a window to Jordan Farr's right. If they can hit it.
McCabe sends it on goal, sends it up and over the goal, and Farr barely had to move. One movement might be enough for Farr to send this match to halftime. Doesn't even have to touch it. That's enough for half number 1. Rarely in life do things go as you expected. I'd say those 45 minutes did. A minimal distance between these two teams, and obviously nothing on the scoreboard.
Great game to watch. You got two very different styles in a game of this importance, and both of them are playing how they wanted to very effectively today.
Do not mistake lack of achievement for lack of activity in half number 1. So through 45 minutes of this Eastern Conference final, Indy 11-0 and Lou City 0. A chance for everyone to catch their breath here on the campus of IUPUI. Stay tuned. Coming up at halftime, we'll talk to the head coach of the Indy 11 in Mark Rennie, take you around the USL Championship with news and notes and highlights of the semi-final rounds in each conference. In front of a great crowd on a sunny but chilly day. Our score once again, Indy 11-0, Louisville City 0. You're watching on Wish TV and ESPN+.
Mr. Indy, Don Smart was the first player to make 100 appearances for the 11, scored 9 goals, registered in 6. Over the course of 4 years in Indy, Don established himself as the Indy 11 legend. No first trial has ever pulled on the field and in the community. Fans, please give a warm round of applause for our boys in blue.
Back at Carroll Stadium, goalless in the Eastern Conference Final. Indy 11-0 and Lou City 0. Greg Rankstrom, Brad Hodder back with you on Wish TV and ESPN+. A look now at the news and notes around the USL Championship. Not exactly a stellar debut season for Hartford Athletic. They elected to part ways with head coach Jimmy Nielsen at the end of the season, and they are bringing in a new coach. But of course, most of the focus around the USL Championship is on this match, the match taking place in Salt Lake City, which leads to our championship final, which again can be seen regardless of teams, regardless of location, 7:30 Eastern time next Sunday on ESPN2. And for the first time in league history, that match will be seen on ESPN Deportes as well. Now a look back at last weekend's playoff action around the USL Championship.
Fleming's outside. Junior Fleming's 1v1, and it's Fleming's! Continuously giving the ball away. Now it's Blake with a hard effort, and it finds the back of the net. It was coming, and Jack Blaze on the turn. Here's Martinez, and her own foot's moving. Carroll with delivery towards the back post. It's all the way in, and Farrell sends it over the bar. Street blocked away. Full time. It's a royal upset. The Monarchs slay the Dragon.
High press gives the Hounds the ball. James slides it in. It's going to fall to Kevin Kerr. Kerr goes back. Whoa. Out of it. Forbes is in. Swinger. It's a goal.
Take some steam out of the Hounds actually by laying down a professional.
That was his old buddy from RMU, Speedy
Cocked
Williams.
it up.
Brett, can he get there? Rouse the keeper. Nico Brett couldn't put it in. Couldn't put it up on it.
Hit it, man.
Spencer. Given here. Ownby got through a body. Morton made a save. Rebound is in.
Goal.
Toss it into play. And Louisville City FC has done what no team has done.
To draw the penalty. Shot away by Ayoze. Lodo's cross. Hooked in. Rios turning. Oh, what a save by Farr. Enormous amount of ground. Here he is. Pasher latching on. He scores. It had to be him. Indy 11 star Tyler Pasher gives the visitors the breakthrough, and they've done it. The final whistle. Martin Rennie's Indy 11 squad.
Either corner of the box, because if you touch it, it can go in. Low delivery into the far post and in. Jose Aron Gomez from James Kiffey. A step too long, back the other way. Low cross, top of the box, chipped in, wide, Federer, what a save! Here is Contreras, rolls it in! Wrong foot Shuttleworth. Seba Velasquez to the far post and in! Seba Velasquez punches El Paso's ticket into the Western Conference Finals.
So that is how we got to here, at least these two teams in the Eastern Conference, both getting road wins a week ago. Louisville handing Pittsburgh their only road loss of the season, and Indy avenging an earlier loss at Nashville from back in July. So here is the entire 20-team bracket. Again, the league expanded to 36 teams this year. The playoffs expanded from 16 teams to 20. Indy entered in what would be the first round, but the second wave of playoff action. A pair of 1-0 victories got them to this point. It's a repetitive scoreline for Lou City as well. 2-1. They win over the Tampa Bay Rowdies at home in their first playoff game. then 2-1 and added extra time. They get past Pittsburgh a week ago. Our out-of-town scoreboard is one game. It's brought to us by Crown Plaza Indianapolis downtown. Let them assist you with your next meeting or event. The winner there plays the winner here. The bracket is that simple. And again, Real Monarchs and El Paso Locomotive 0-0 at halftime, such as this one. Before we get to our next break, it is time now for our touchline trivia. This isn't the first time that Louisville and Indy have played at Carroll Stadium. How many times have these rivals played here, and what is their overall record against one another? We'll have the answer of that one for you coming up a little bit later on in today's telecast. When we come back, first half highlights and stats. 0-0 our score at Carroll Stadium as you're watching on Which TV and ESPN+.
Michael. Not exactly close. I'll tell you what, we're glad you're here. We congratulate you for being a sport. Thanks for participating in the Indy 11 College Challenge. Sports injury, CCU did not help that sports medicine shelter. Visit the community sports injury walking clinic on Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 18th and 8th. Learn more. EETV.com/walk-in. And on the manufacturing in Indiana, one dollar built a 60-yard in all the inside. Really hard to our business. We're dedicated to our local citizens and environmental stewards. In Pittsburgh and across the state. Learn more about how we're making a difference at Indiana.com.
Indy 11 back at the mic for the second time in the last 3 weeks. Their original home from 2014 through 2017. From a telecast standpoint, you've been on your home for the Indy 11 since day one, either My Indy TV or today, Wish TV, along with ESPN+. You get alongside Brad Hodder, Greg Rakestraw with you. We're going to hear from Martin Rennie coming up in just a matter of moments, but if you're either coach, anything you're changing up in half number two?
I think, you're both happy in your locker rooms right now. You've created some chances. You've not done anything defensively that have exposed anything. So both of them are sticking to their game plans, and both of them are playing well. It's going to come down to execution and who's going to make that mistake, that fatal mistake in that critical moment.
Playoff games are often lost more than they are won. That may be the case in today's contest. They look back now at first half highlights, and obviously no goals to show you, but again, best chance on goal probably belong to the Indy 11. The build-up, level, if not better, on the half of Lou City.
Yeah, and it fits what they both scripted as they came in here on what they want to do. So both of them are kind of, punching into little seams and punching in little pockets that they saw on film that they wanted to do. And now it comes, can they get that final touch in the final third to move them on to the final match?
All right, defensive tactics Indy has used, trying to break up the connection from, say, Spencer to Rasmussen and others. Your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you, they've done a great job of group defending both of them. The first defender comes in, puts pressure on Luke Spencer's back. Once he does get that touch, you've got pressure coming from the high side to double down on it. For Rasmussen, they're just group defending and really kind of clouding any pocket of space that he has.
One shot on target, and that was the save you saw by Hubbard on the header from Dane Kelly. I'm a little surprised that the possession is that tilted in favor of Louisville. I thought they had the better of it. Maybe not to that degree. Any of those numbers truly jump off the page at you, Brad?
No, and I tell you, the shot on target really was just a ball that Dane Kelly outworked. I forget which defender it was, but outworked the defender to get to that head ball. Other than that, it would be directly even. And you look at the possession, I'm not concerned with the possession. I don't think either coach is at this point because of the way that Lou City wants to build. They're going to have a little bit more of it. The way that Indy 11 wants to try and find their pace up top, they're going to lose a little bit more possession.
Both teams making their way back to the field. Still a couple of minutes before we kick things off for half number 2. Again, a reminder, if this is not decided after 90, we will go 120 minutes. If it's not decided after that, we will go to penalty kicks. The only time both those scenarios have ever been in play for this Indy 11 franchise was in the NASL Soccer Bowl Championship 3 years ago against the New York Cosmos. That saw that match go 0-0 through 120, with the Cosmos claiming the victory on PKs that day. Martin Running is running and is standing by for our halftime conversation. Coach, as always, we'll keep it brief. Oh, not ready just yet. My apologies. Thought we were ready to go to Martin. We'll get him coming up in just a matter of moments. No lineup changes, it appears, for either side. And again, that's not exactly a surprise. We only saw one player have to deal with an injury during the first half, and that was we met only briefly.
Yeah, and both of the sides played well. This is one of the things you talked about in the pregame is, and don't change it if it's working.
All right, let's go across the way. Martin Running is with us now. Martin, what was your message to your guys at halftime?
Just got to keep doing a lot of the same things that we're doing. We've got to tighten up on second balls, but we're going to get chances. We've looked dangerous as the half went on, so we've got to keep looking for that in the second half.
From a tactics standpoint, any changes you expect coming up in half number 2?
No, I think both teams are playing well. We're evenly matched teams, so it's just about making sure we take advantage of the opportunities when they come along.
Martin, thank you very much. We'll talk to you after the match.
Thank you.
Always appreciate Coach Running's time right before half number 2 gets underway.
And I tell you, he picked it out. You take a look at that second ball. Lou City's doing a great job of winning that first one, but they're leaving that second one right on that second level, which is an opportunity that Indy 11 can expose.
For Lou City, 5th consecutive year they have played in the Eastern Conference Final. They lost the first 2. They've won the last 2.
Do you realize how incredible that is? How difficult that is to do?
5 years in franchise history, the worst they have done, but a conference finalist. This is the 5th year of Lou City. This is the 6th year of the Indy 11. Obviously, Louisville's been a playoff team in all 5 of their years in the USL, or now USL Championship. This is Indy's 3rd playoff appearance in 6 seasons. Ownby skies it, far, snacks it.
This is a great ball to Ownby.
Walker did not hit that ball the way he had planned on. Scramble outside of the 18. Connor comes out of there with it. Connor, one of the 4 early August acquisitions. Kelly looks to make the turn, draws the foul. Paco Craig will gladly take that foul, especially with no card attached to it.
So dangerous. The way he can either hold the ball up if he wants or flick it into space and then race to go get it.
Barrett trying to catch Hubbard off his line.
Wow,
and they're going to turn into a save. What a look.
Patty Barrett catches everybody off guard.
Barrett gave it a go from just past midfield. Here's an old school reference for you. Shades of Sergio Pena.
Oh my goodness.
With the half-court heave from 4 years ago from the Indy 11. Hubbard had to steer that away from the frame. Again, he's fighting the sun from that angle too. And it sets up the 4th quarter of the match for Kenny Walker in the Indy 11. 3 outside of the 6 for Indy. 3 more perch to the top of the 18. Walker sends it back post. Craig got there first. McMahon then next. And that's going to be, if not a foul on Barrett, then simply a throw-in for Louisville.
Love the presence of mind of Patty Barrett to see it and have a go at it and then strike a perfect ball.
Trying to think of the longest distance goal for the Indy 11 this year. That would have been it. Easily. So much of the traffic for Indy has been inside of the 18 because of the speed of Tyler Pasher this year. Jose couldn't slide in between McMahon and Openo. Well done by Hackshaw.
Oh, what a great little touch.
You could say well done by Hackshaw on about 3 different facets of that play.
I'll tell you what, he was to be able to turn around and recognize that the player's right on you and take a little half touch in the middle of your turn to separate from that defender was incredible.
McMahon plays it forward. McCabe the target. Barrett run it perfectly. And eventually just plays it to the side to give everybody a bit of a breather. Openo. Deflected by Hackshaw. And that will be a corner for Lou City. This portion of this match presented by the Denny Companies. Denny Companies tearing down the past so you can build the future. Jimenez. He has 7 assists this season. Will direct this toward the 18-yard box. Plays it short. Now directs it back post. Craig the target. However, whistle blown. Foul called. Shot was off target regardless. Letting the sights and sounds provide some of the soundtrack for you. Of course, the Brickyard Battalion right behind Jordan Farr. There's a corner of purple on what would be the southeast corner of the stadium. The Lou Coopers made the short drive up I-65 for this one. 2 tremendous fan bases that corresponds with 2 really good teams.
I'll tell you what, the Coopers are going to be rewarded with a new stadium here. I've driven by it. It looks fantastic.
It'll be open next spring. The NWSL will begin playing in Louisville the following year. And part of talking with Howie Lindsay this week from Louisville, he said there was a thirst for something from the professional sports standpoint that Louisville could call their own. Ownby clipped on the foul. Restart coming. Pinned to the sideline for Lou City.
And these are the things that change the game. You got to get away from the corners, the fouls at the, just on the edge of the attacking third, because it just takes one, and then it completely changes the dynamic of this game as Lou City can sit, pack it in a little bit, and really try and reduce the space and lanes for the 11 to play.
McCabe having a conversation with Jimenez as to where this ball should go. Jimenez. Nope. McCabe. Low line drive that Walker intercepts. Kelly tries to track down. Reads the turf, bounce well. Distributes Pasher. Springs for Iose. Kelly going back post. Iose delivers. Kelly couldn't get to it. Walker backs it up. Now finds Kelly inside of the 18. The lead for Gibson. King couldn't get it past Speedy Williams. And Obi got tripped up of his own accord, but able to play it off of Walker for a Lou City throw-in.
Good counterattack. Dane Kelly was just able to push that ball over to Pasher, get it out to Iose, and then as those 3 consistently do, they know where each other's at. Iose drops the ball back post for Kelly.
Hackshaw will play it back to Jordan Farr for safekeeping. This match, maybe as much as I can remember, in our 6 years of doing the Indy 11 games, has broken down into that guy versus this guy. Like every time Iose's had it, McMahon's been on his hip. Paco Craig and Dane Kelly. Even Hackshaw tracking Luke Spencer. It's going both directions.
Love it.
These two basketball Mad States are playing man-to-man today against each other.
You have got 10 heavyweight fights out there.
By the way, score update for the Western Conference Final. Both teams have found the back of the net. El Paso got one in extra time in the first half. Real Monarchs have answered. So 1-1 the score in the Western Conference Final. And the Western team is heading east, regardless of who wins. And it's not based on seeding. It's based on point total during the season. And the top 4 seeds in the East going into the playoffs knew that if it was anybody other than Phoenix that won out West, the team that won the East from that group would host the championship match.
Well, Phoenix took points from everybody.
Pretty sure Phoenix took points from teams in Major League Soccer and the Premier League at times during their win streak. McMahon, a bit of a miscue, and Hubbard didn't see it.
You got to stay clicked in because he had his hands on it. He could use his hands on that.
And again, Hubbard, I think that sun is giving him some fits. So a bit of a free corner coming here, and Iose lines up to take it.
And we talked about it a little bit, the difference in the game when you got two teams that are this strong playing this well. It comes down to either a mistake or a moment of individual brilliance.
Iose takes up every bit of real estate he can. Sends it in. Wimet couldn't keep it on frame.
Boy, we've said that a number of times over the years. Iose to Wimet on a corner kick.
One of his favorite targets. Every goal that Carl had last season was on service from Iose. The goal that Carl had 2 weeks ago was in the run of play here. And served up by Macaulay King. Great read by Gibson.
Love it. Started with the pressure from Pasture up top.
Wimet goes to the turf. Ownby whistled for the foul. Fans, Indy 11 premium suites are the perfect way to entertain your guests. Learn more at Indy11.com or call 317-685-1100. Pasher the flick. Craig rifles this one to midfield. Hackshaw. Good follow-up by Rasmussen. Ball for Opano. Everybody racing back. Opano deflected. Corner coming. So second corner of the half coming up here for Louisville. Louisville has had players warming up since halftime started. Indy 11 just starting to send some players towards the opposite corner flag to get loose. Jimenez being told to wait. Some traffic placed in front of Jordan Farr. And that's the reason for the momentary delay. Jimenez at the edge of the 6. Iose will knock it back to midfield. And a corresponding run. Tried to find Pasher. McCabe got there first.
What a great idea. If Iose is able to get it into space to allow Pasher to run, he's in on goal.
What a veteran move by Ownby. As he tried to settle that ball, put his arm around the Indy 11 defender so that the momentum would carry him to the turf. Again, so much veteran quality on this Lou City team. Jimenez. Jimenez looking back post. Barrett got there first. Tosh was the target. And Hackshaw now could take a little real estate with his own touches. The back heel by Iose. Hackshaw charging forward. Great sliding tackle to break it up by Lou City.
Tell you what, Niall McKay just saved a great opportunity.
Ireland well represented in today's match. McCabe for Lou City. Barrett for the Indy 11. Speaking of Barrett, a hello and how do you do to Antoine Opino. Throw in coming. Taken by McMahon. Walker kept waiting for that ball to be deemed as being out of play. It never came. Now Williams looking for Spencer. The run made by Ownby to the edge of the 18. Plays and looking for Rasmussen. Walker there to intercept it.
Ownby is clever.
Pasher played that hoping a teammate would fill that space. They did not. But at the same time, Indy kept 8 behind the ball by not going after said ball. And Barrett gets a boot to it. Corner coming for Lou City in the 60th minute.
And that's one of the things, you look at that turnover there, and there's so much to be said about just taking a chance. You know, when you've got Pasher or Kelly sitting up top, just looking at seeing if you can find the space over the top for them to just run onto.
So numerous restarts in the first 50 minutes of this half for Louisville. I think the Indy 11 reserves are being told, hey, provide a little more space if you could. They'll oblige for a second.
Good serve.
Walker got there first. Gibson gets there next. Trying to launch Kelly, who tries to knock it forward to Pasher. Eventually, Pasher finds it. Has Iose. Opino gotten away. Iose keeps the pressure alive. And finally, Hubbard has to sweep it back to midfield.
What a great idea by Tyler Pasher to try and split the backs and see if he can leave it into that seam for Iose.
Now Ownby with the run going. Little hesitation trying to get around Hackshaw. And Hackshaw, yeah, that's a foul.
Didn't need it, didn't need it, didn't need it.
Forearm to the back of Ownby.
He's such a great defender. You know, if he just runs with him and just stays in front of him, he'll eliminate the opportunity for the serve. Right now, you give him an uncontested serve. Did not need that foul.
We just said it. There have been restarts aplenty for Louisville here in this second half. And at some point, they'll come back to bite you. Everyone perched outside of the 6 right now for Louisville. By the way, this portion of the match presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong. Referee is running. This will be Jimenez. Walker got there first. McMahon. Far. Little contact there, but Far, no problem with it. And Rasmussen, the player that tripped him up. Hackshaw. And Tosh. Bit of a stumble, but no Indy player within 20 yards of him, so no worries there. Ball has not spent much time in this end in this half. Tosh with a giveaway.
and that's where the 11 just needs to connect a few passes, create a few opportunities, at least balance this game out a little bit, and keep Lou City honest in the way that they have to play.
Spencer. We met with him step for step. Ball stayed in play. Let's see who touched that last. Thought it was Barrett. It was. To the corner flag yet again goes Lou City.
And I'll tell you what's so impressive about Luke Spencer. You know, he looks like a traditional target player where you bang the ball into him and you run off of him. But he's got pace and he's got creative technical ability where he can create his own windows.
One man providing a screen in front of Fall. Everyone else makes their run. At the edge of the 6. That time the ball went sideways. Iose got there first. Ball ricochets off of Hackshaw from Speedy Williams.
Yeah, you got to change the personality of this game a little bit if you're in the 11. You got to grab the ball and make Lou City defend for a little bit.
Trying to get buried within your own end if you're the Indy 11. It really hasn't been a nervous moment out of it yet. You're spending a lot of energy. Again, in a match that might be going 120 and not 90. Fans, you continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through the 2022 season.
There's another possible mistake.
USL has decided out to the championship in League One will remain with the leader in sports for 3 more years. ESPN Plus will continue to be the home of all things USL, with at least 19 games here featured on the ESPN family of networks, including ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Good work by Barrett.
Well done.
To beat not one defender, but 2.
And this is what you need. This is what you need.
Pasher. Bit of a giveaway. But the ball intended for Spencer will be a harmless one in nature. That Wemette can restart on the throw.
Find the ball, find a bit of a rhythm, keep it for a bit, get Lou City back on their heels just a bit.
We have yet to see kind of that patented Pasher moment where he gets in on the left side behind the last line of defense. Craig, a bit of a giveaway here. Kelly. Corner coming. We'll finish that Pasher thought in a matter of moments. But to the corner flag goes Iose.
This is the cruel way this game plays out. Lou City has had, 4 or 5 corners, a bunch of restarts. Indy gets 1 against the run of play. And this is the kind of thing that you see where a ball goes in.
Barrett will come up and join the attack. Walker at the edge of the 18 with a lot of space. Iose, Wemette got ahead to it, but he was the last to touch it and not on frame. All right, so now let's talk a little tactics here, so to speak, as you see the replay. What has Louisville done to take away Pasher getting behind them on the left side?
You know, I tell you, it has been more in the middle of the field where they've applied so much pressure to the 11 that the 11 haven't been able to find the ball into Pasher. But they only need 1. They only need 1.
And a pair of 1-0 victories for the Indy 11 in this playoff. Red Bulls 2 here 2 weeks ago. At Nashville 7 days ago. Last time Indy beat Louisville was 1-0. And now it's Pasher. Pasher left foot. There it is! Tyler Pasher has a goal in all 3 games against Lou City this year. I look to the Brickyard Battalion. Cue the smoke. And the Indy 11 are 1 goal in front.
Brilliant. You just need Pasher once.
There it was. The one flick for him to get behind. Lucky number 13 this season for Tyler Pasher. He's now scored in back-to-back playoff games. And the Indy 11 have 23 minutes and change to try to keep Lou City out of the back of the net.
This is so frustrating if you're Lou City. You have virtually controlled these last 20 minutes. Opportunity after opportunity after opportunity left on the table. You give the 11 one look, and you're down 1-0.
And with that, here comes the veteran, the super sub, and Matt Watson will make his 24th appearance of the season as a sub, his 32nd of the year. Drew Connor is done for the day, and already kind of a defensive-minded sub for Indy with Matt Watson coming onto the field. Beautiful back heel find Spencer. Spencer trying to weave his way around Barron. Dangerous opportunity. And you know, a team with the championship pedigree of Lou City is not going away. Corner flag, here they come.
And you love seeing that response 5 seconds after the kickoff. You've got a corner because of a dangerous opportunity that you took in the attacking third.
It's Jimenez yet again. Ball sent in. Hackshaw got there first. Gibson tries to carve out some space to clear it further. Iose will do just that. Fantastic ball here to keep the attack alive. Barrett stepped in front of Rasmussen. And Pasher with a touch. He'll elect for possession this time. He'll switch the side of the attack. Where Iose can wait for a moment or two. And Indy has now led 1-0 in all 3 matchups with Lou City this year. The previous 2 times, Louisville found an equalizer. Here's Watson, the team captain. Ball deflected by the boot of McMahon. Tosh couldn't clear it properly, but Hubbard quickly knocks it back to midfield. Ownby making a run far. Couldn't play it with his hands, didn't get the clearance he wanted to, but Gibson will buy a bit more real estate and find Macaulay King.
I'll tell you, just what you'd expect from a team with the championship pedigree of Lou City. They have turned the volume up right now.
Been there, done that, and have the trophies to prove it. So they will not be rattled by a 1-goal deficit. 2 might be a different story.
And it's not just the fact that they've got 2 championships. They just did this last week. Pittsburgh was up 1-0. They got the equalizer, and then they won it in overtime.
Tosh.
I'd press this. Hubbard's been a bit shaky with his feet today.
Spencer and Barrett.
It's a good battle.
Going shoulder to shoulder. Here's Spencer. Great ball for Opano. Opano!
Wow.
Up and over the bar. But that may have been the best look that Lou City's had all day.
Luke Spencer battling with Patty Barrett, able to find Opano on the backside. Both of those guys got up. They are tired. They are sore. They both got up. They patted each other in the back and said, well done.
Abdou Jam, by the way, enters the match for Lou City as Pat McMahon will take a seat. And again, that is an offensive-minded substitution. That's a body from the back line replaced by a guy from the front line. So Lou City will take more chances now in minute number 72. Both teams with 2 substitutions remaining. If this does get past 90, both teams will then pick up an additional substitution. The Sports This Match presented by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Take your business to the next level in a state that works. This is the third playoff game played in this facility for the Indy 11. The previous two ended 1-0. Jam inside the 18.
Oh, my goodness.
What a ball. That's his first touch of the match. Abdou Jam. That's Senegal.
That's the equalizer, and I got to tell you, I understand the flow of the game, but with a ball like that, somebody's got to sell themselves out back post and get a flick on it.
John, one of the handful of newcomers on this Lou City team, just one of 7 new faces on this year's roster out of 25 players. John with 3 goals this season. This is 25th appearance. Jimenez kind of held up for a moment. Without an Indy 11 player close by, easy for him to track that down. Kansas Sports This Match presented by Delta Faucet. See what Delta can do.
Oh my goodness.
And Jose.
That's not right. You shouldn't be able to do that. You're in a double team just outside your 18. You win the ball. You split the double team. That's incredible.
That is worthy of the smile that Jose has on his face after that play. And again, you know what foot he's going to use.
Yeah, but
you still can't stop it anyway.
I wonder if he surprises himself. When he looks at something like that, and I can't believe I got out of that.
He knows the geometry of the game. There was a pivot and a right angle in there somewhere that led to getting out of that jam for Indy. Well, possession was 57-43 in favor of Louisville in the first half. That number may have increased in half number 2. As long as the scoreline remains 1-0, number may continue to inflate for the visitors.
Yeah, I think the 11 is going to be content to just grind this out, get bodies behind the ball.
Looking to extend their playoff winning streak is Louisville to 11 consecutive matches. Last time Indy won against Lou City was on Derby Day of all days, not Derby Day, Kentucky Derby Day last year on the first Saturday in May on an Iose penalty on a Paco Craig handball in the box. Looking back post, Spencer trying to carve out some space, but as he chested down Hackshaw, the first player there, and he will play a real estate ball to the other end of the park. 9th meeting all time between these two clubs. 2 Indy 11 wins, 3 Louisville City FC wins, and 3 draws in that mix as well. Jimenez plays it here and far, had it lined up. Let's also maybe give a little love to Jordan Farr. He has now played the first 255 minutes of his playoff career without having given up a goal.
And you look at him, you watch the way he carries himself in that goal, you'd never realize that this is the first 250 minutes of his playoff career.
These are 2 teams that find the right players. And from some unlikely sources, some small colleges. Jordan played NAIA soccer in Oregon. Didn't play a minute a year ago. Shoulder injury factored into that. This is his 12th appearance of this season. His 10th start. King the read, but liked to stay behind the ball instead of taking the chance. Both teams still have 2 substitutions they can make. Open up. Looking to get around Iose. And does on the corner.
It's well defended.
By the way, this Sportsnitch match presented by Honda Manufacturing of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Jimenez waits for the okay. Here it is. Looking back post, far off his line, but no problem there. Kelly trying to hold it up. Open a great job to take it away.
Oh, Neville Hackshaw. Little chess match right there. Neville wins. Checkmate.
Jimenez aware of the physics at play in that possible collision. Hackshaw, his first year with the Indy 11. Made the All-Opta 11 in the USL Championship this year. Shot left foot, but he was offside. But Job has been a difference maker since entering this match for McMahon. Yes, offside there, but created a good look on goal a few minutes ago. Look at the offside, no doubt about that. Watson.
Great composure.
And Hubbard. Only a couple of players for the Indy 11 really on this side of the field. Able to make that play without much of an issue.
That's a veteran move right there. I mean, he can get a touch to it. He can shield Rasmussen off the ball. He can hold that ball there for a bit. Or he can just kill him in the 20, 30 seconds of this.
This Indy 11 team, such a great mix of veterans and youth. Kelly looking to make the turn. He thought he was held up on the play. Let's not get the whistle from our referee. Hubbard knocks it back to midfield. Hackshaw got there first. Gibson got there next. Opportunity here. Rasmussen chips it forward. Ownby his target. Ownby racing forward. Ouimet. It'll be a goal kick. Take a look back at the difference maker. About 15 minutes earlier. Tyler Pasher.
What a great first touch. What a great first touch.
One moment. We literally just talked about how he had not had that chance to kind of carve out some space behind the defense on his preferred left side. It took one moment to change this match.
You can't relax against him. You can't blink. You can't relax. You can't click off. It just takes one.
Ouimet to King towards the sideline.
And you can say that exact same thing about Spencer and Rasmussen. It just takes one. You can't click off. You can't relax.
The Sportsnitch match brought to us by Ivy Tech. Career start here. Apply for free at ivytech.edu. Hackshaw. Job.
No, my goodness. Wow, that's you can't assume it's going to bounce. You can't assume the teammate's going to be there.
A heart and throat moment for the Indy 11. Far as a man of faith, there may have been some divine intervention on that one. And again, it's Jam that has produced opportunities for Lou City. The 11 have a sub ready to go. It is Christian Novoa. I would assume that would be for Dane Kelly. Standing by the fourth official. the edge of the 18, Spencer looking to make the turn. Knocked away by Watson. Obi. McCabe lifts it back post far, has it read. And we'll watch that ball trickle across the byline for a goal kick. And my guess was right. Kelly exits. Novoa enters. And again, this is to give fresh legs up top, trying to hold possession if you're the Indy 11. Dane Kelly has run his race for tonight. George Davis IV, one of the OGs of Lou City FC.
Legend.
When he is not playing for Lou City, he's an assistant coach at Hanover College. He comes in to replace Sean Tosh, again, a more attack-minded player. Davis with 3 goals this year. He is very much kind of taken on a Matt Watson-like role.
Exactly.
For Lou City.
Great analogy.
Each team down to 1 sub, and again, if we get past 90, as in added extra time, both teams get an additional sub if necessary. And I see the assistant coach and Danny Cruz racing towards the corner flag. Louisville may not wait much longer to make sub number 3. Good looking ball here for Openo. Davis, his first touch as always, a solid one. Davis's fingerprints are all over this Lou City franchise. He was one of 3 player assistant coaches last year after James O'Connor left for Orlando City and before John Hackworth was brought on board. And they didn't miss a beat either.
That's incredible. Do you know how hard that is to do? Not just have a managerial change, but have it be active guys.
Del Piccolo and Spencer, the other 2.
Oh, my goodness.
Great move by Openo. Hackshaw is there to sweep it away. Now Paco Craig will settle. It's Strikers Island right now for Novoa, as Pasher is playing a more defensive role, and understandably so. At the edge of the 18, Iose carves out some real estate. Openo, though, beat him to it. Ball stayed in play. McCabe sends it in. Diving effort by Obi, couldn't get to it. And now Pasher taken down by Speedy Williams. Speedy Williams shown a yellow card. And the sands of the hourglass, a few more trickle through for the Indy 11.
It looked almost like the hands on the back with Patty Barrett, and it was sold a little bit, but it was enough that you could have gotten a call there.
I think, given the physical nature of both these 2 teams, it's going to take a lot to get that whistle inside of the 18. Long distance ball for Watson. Finds some space. Matt Watson a touch. Matt Watson across.
What a great flick.
If he finds Novoa, it's 2-0. Instead, it remains a 1-goal game. Womet will play that ball to the side to avoid Luke Spencer. The last time that Lou City lost a playoff game, the Eastern Conference Finals of 2016. On that day, they were the road team, losing to the number 1 seed, New York Red Bulls 2. The read by Gibson. And Gibson will give up possession, but bought about 30 yards of field space with the run that he made. Minute number 87. I hear the call to the post from a Lou City fan. This is about race number 9 on a 9-race card right now in the 87th minute. And King will send that one towards the White River.
Tough touch. You would have wanted to keep that in, but you can see the 11, whether it's Tyler Gibson coming up top. Yep. They're keeping 9 back. They're keeping their shape. They're making sure that any ball that gets lost in transition doesn't lead to an open opportunity.
Davis near post and far. Looked like that Jean was nowhere close to it, even if he was centimeters away.
I think Jean's been impressive. What's he been in 15 minutes, and he's buzzed around the goal and created 2 or 3 dangerous opportunities.
He's been involved in every scoring chance since he entered the match. Farr's clearance off target. Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of this match, presented by Honda Manufacturing of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. Giveaway by Lou City. Throw-in coming here.
Tell you what, a champion does not go down without a fight. Lou City is doing everything they can to get themselves back into this match.
Pasher has Iose, has Novoa, has options, finds Iose, overlapping run. Pasher!
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The final nail was right there.
Minute number 89.
If you're going to stay up, you got to press it here. Otherwise, you got to recover and get bodies back.
Hackshaw finds Iose. Watson, what a ball. Watson has Novoa to his right. Walker going to provide some assistance. Watson gives it a go, and did not miss by much.
He saw it. He had that far post.
1 goal this season for Watson, coming in a road victory at North Carolina FC back on August 3rd. Minute number 90. Ball sent in. Again, Jean the target. Ouimet steers it away. Craig. And Farr just casually watches it trickle past.
Love it. Veteran move from a young keeper.
From not a veteran. Would guess we're looking at 3 or 4 minutes of added time. Fans on both sides standing at this juncture.
Good ball.
It will be 4 added minutes. Foul against Jean. Card shown to Jean for a high boot. But frankly, I understand. You're going after the ball. You're trying to find a way, however you can, to get that goal. That was not a dirty play. That was just making every effort to settle that ball. So Ouimet on the turf for a second time tonight. And a reminder, the winner here plays host to either El Paso or Real Monarchs next Sunday night at 7:30. Catch that on both ESPN2 and ESPN Deportes. It is 1-1 in the 90th minute there. Craig heads it. Hubbard grabs it. Novoa in the neighborhood, but not close enough to do any damage. 1 minute elapsed. Watson makes the read yet again. Davis pokes it away, but he's got Iose in support. Pasher.
Good turn.
Gonna camp out. Ball poked away. Iose is there. Iose looks up, plays it across. Novoa couldn't get to it.
Now this is where you got to be careful in transition.
Foul given to Ouimet, and he might get shown a card. Yep.
It's great to spend the energy. It's great to put the bodies up there and look for that second goal to end this match. But you got to be careful of transition. Make sure you're getting guys back.
So Barrett and Ouimet both playing on a yellow. Whistle given. Barrett and Spencer. Both former players for FC Cincinnati, but not at the same time. Ownby went to the turf. And Spencer going to be hitting a talking to about maybe going down without much of an effort in this scenario.
He and Barrett have been having a 90-minute battle.
Usually on ESPN Plus, you have to pay extra to watch that sort of combat between those two guys. You've gotten it today for your monthly subscription.
And the respect between them is great. I mean, they're both upset with each other right now, but the respect they have for one another, you can see it after every one of their hard fouls and contact.
Farr telling his guys to play a high line. He's outside of the 6 as well. Paco Craig got there first. Diving effort by Spencer. Rasmussen a back heel. King didn't clear it. Loose ball. Ownby. Corner coming. And here comes Hubbard. Everybody up for Lou City. So Hubbard enters the fray. Ball sent in. Headed down. Openo got it.
My word.
We're tied at 1. Openo finds the back of the net in the 94th minute.
What a finish. What a finish. Under that kind of pressure, that kid has run all day. His legs are exhausted. To have the presence of mind to one-touch that ball, put it down through the traffic. What a finish.
Did you expect anything less?
That's a champion.
Out of the two-time defending champions. Openo a seeing eye goal. They get hopped over Patty Barrett. Hubbard stayed out of the way. Farr didn't read it. First goal he has allowed in these playoffs. Now we are seconds away from tacking 30 more minutes onto this one.
Well, I don't want it to end yet. I don't want it to end yet.
Substitution coming here. Openo scores the goal and leads. Alexi Swahi will come in. So now that Louisville has scored a goal, they'll balance their offensive substitutions by bringing in a defender and Alexi Swahi. I would think maybe a minute before we play an additional 30 at most.
I tell you what, good substitutions, good management from Hackworth. Just been a brilliantly called game from him as a coach.
Novoa promoting pressure. Throw in coming for Indy. And we glance the referee to see if he checks his wristwatch. Pasher at the edge of the 18. Looking to make a turn. 4 defenders around him. Leaves for Gibson. King wants it right side. Ball goes to Ament first. Ament tried to send it in. Ownby the block, and that's it.
Wow. Wow.
City. Up off the mat. Openo the goal, his 5th of the season, and we will play 30 more minutes at Carroll Stadium. Lou City will have 1 substitution available. Indy will have 2. A chance for both sides to get a breather, to talk some tactics, and get ready for at least 30 more minutes of soccer. We thought this was going 120, and that's exactly what is going to happen. So our score at the end of regulation, Indy 11-1, Lou City 1. We'll take this quick timeout. Extra time, added extra time, comes your way next on Wish TV and ESPN Plus. A lot of fans paid for seats. Nobody's using them right now. They haven't for minutes, and they won't for the next 30. Indy 11-1. Lou City 1. Both teams scoring in the second half. Let's show you how we got to added extra time. The flick. Pasher. The finish. 13th goal of the season. Indy 11 led for really the better part of 30 minutes after that Pasher goal made it 1-0. But at the end of extra time, Antoine Openo keeps Lou City alive. 1 goal apiece. Again, both teams get an extra substitution now. Both teams will play the full 30. We'll switch ends after 15 minutes. That'll be a very minimal respite. And the sun setting to a point where it's not much of a factor. So you'll see Farr now looking into that sun, but great job by our camera crew to show you that angle. It shouldn't be much of an issue, and the lights were just turned on, and they will take effect here in a matter of moments. In Louisville, didn't save the dramatics for as late in regulation.
Oh my goodness.
Last week as they did this week, but again, they won in the 118th minute last week in Pittsburgh. Now, just to clarify, there is no golden goal here. We are playing 30 minutes, regardless of how many times the back of the net is fouled by either team. Well, you would assume momentum with that late equalizer on the side of the defending champs. Again, we point out, Barrett and Ouimet are playing on a yellow. And Barrett picks up a whistle.
No.
Guido Gonzalez, the referee, wants to speak with Barrett. And this will be a conversation. Barrett picked up that foul before the end of the first half. So Barrett's got to be on his P's and Q's the rest of the match.
What does that mean, actually?
I have no idea.
I know what it means, but why P's and Q's?
I wish I had an answer for you, Brad.
I did too, Greg.
Some of life's great questions are those that go unanswered.
I tell you what, Spencer's he's just picking up energy.
McCabe sends it in. Barrett got there first. Walker lifts it to midfield. By the way, the Western Conference match in a similar scenario. 1-1. And they're going to an additional 30 minutes in Salt Lake City.
It's the way it should be.
Craig and Swahi. Again, Swahi replaced Openo after Davis replaced Tosh. You could say that Lou City was playing 3 at the back. For a few minutes, they may have been playing none at the back. And a foul is given. And as far as players sitting on yellows for Lou City, Jam is sitting on a yellow. So he's got to be careful.
You talked about on the little Patty Barrett push in the box that it's going to take a lot to get a whistle in there. It should take a lot with the way this game has unfolded. It should take a lot to get a second yellow.
You saw the extended arm from Jean at the end of that play. That is on the opposite side from our broadcast location. Great job by our camera crew to pick that up, because I didn't see it as it first happened. Goal kick coming. Watson thought that the Louisville player touched it last.
I think so did the Louisville player.
Guido Gonzalez says otherwise.
When you look the way that the tactics of the game have to change a little bit right now, you look at the last 10 to 15 minutes of regulation with the success that Matt Watson had and Pasher had, and that was in part due to Lou City having to push so many guys forward to try and get the equalizer.
Ownby looking to make the turn. Plays it across. Back heel. Rasmussen scores. And Louisville leads 2-1. So a lot of time left to play in this one. but the two-time defending champions have taken the lead.
Both goals created from the energy of Ownby.
Rasmussen, his 16th goal of the season. Frankly, he has been silent today until that very moment.
I'll tell you, and he spent so much energy in the final 30 minutes of regulation trying to push his club to get the equalizer that it's amazing he had anything left for overtime.
And who gets the assist? It's Sham. Again, he has changed the course of this game from the moment he entered. Abdou Sham gets the assist. Goals in the 93rd minute of regulation. The 94th minute of added extra time. And now Rasmussen is done. And Paulo Del Piccolo. And another veteran presence brought on. Trying to shepherd this match to the finish line for Lou City.
Now you look at the championship spirit of the 11. Do they have it in them to fight back and pull one back?
Again, folks, we'll play all 30 minutes, regardless of number of goals scored. There's no golden goal scenario here. Throw in coming for Indy. And Indy has 2 subs remaining. Pasher draws a foul, so that'll work like a corner.
Make it count. You got to make it count.
So Walker. You just sense the Indy 11 in need of an energy boost right now, understandably so. Walker sends it in. Lou City got there first. Ioze redirects. Swahi got there next. And Farr now races off his line. Here's Ownby. Spencer making the run, with others assisting. Ownby plays it across. Hackshaw, the deft touch. Now Gibson.
I don't know what happened on that serve from Jordan Farr, but he's been grabbing his hip and slowly got back into the goal after he came out and played this ball at midfield.
Well, Indy's about to make their final 2 substitutions right now. So whatever Farr did, he's going to have to soldier on. And it is the 2 attacking players that are left for Indy 11 that are about to enter. So as you see Farr kind of do a quick self-check there. Eugene Starikoff in for Kenny Walker. And Ilya Illich in for Macaulay King. And can Ilya Illich, who helped Louisville to those 2 championships the last 2 years, get a goal against his former team? That is part of the storyline now for the Indy 11. Starikoff has been very limited because of injuries this year. This is just his 12th match of the season. For Illich, it is his 18th. Both players missed really from mid-March until July. But Starikoff has just never found a spot in the rotation this year.
I'll tell you what, both players also have got championship pedigrees. Both guys have been with clubs and been in these situations and understand how to win.
Spencer, the touch. Ball finds Ilya Illich. Ilya did not play in the first match against Lou City this year. He did feature in the match against Louisville on August 30th. And Illich goes to the turf. We play on. Del Piccolo fouled Gibson. Restart coming for Indy, with Spencer lurking in the background. We'll try this again. Midway through the first half of overtime. Ioze finds Starikoff. The back heel for Illich. Clearance didn't happen for Louisville. Now Pasher.
And you wonder so much of Pasher's game is that breakaway speed and that sprinting into pockets. How much does he have left now after 100 minutes?
Both teams have used their allotted substitutions. These are the players you'll see finish the match. Watson trying to create some traffic in front of Hubbard. The flick by Del Piccolo. And Ownby has been such a catalyst for Lou City today. And that's a foul on Watson. Realizing Jimenez had a beat. Louisville trying to make it 11 consecutive playoff victories.
That's unreal. That's just unreal.
Lamette finds Gibson. Those two teammates 2 years ago in San Francisco. Giveaway by Gibson. Ownby pounces on it. Options left and right. Chooses Del Piccolo. Del Piccolo plays it across and didn't exactly have much juice on that one. Del Piccolo has been bothered by injuries most of the season. Part of the reason why he's playing limited minutes. There's Pasher. Trying to get around Swahi. Pasher. Plays it all the way across. Back post Illich. Ilya Illich.
Oh my goodness.
Diving effort by George Davis and Niall McCabe.
What an effort. That's a champion right there. Both sides, great ball across just over the defender. Illich is back there in the perfect spot. And you got Davis and McCabe that come in and make sure that Hubbard doesn't have to make a save.
Corner coming. Indy places 7 in the box. Iose sends it in. Barrett! Didn't get it on frame. Hackshaw wanted a foul. And then he just made contact with the official. That's yellow.
Come on.
It could have been worse. It was kind of a glancing blow, but the emotions of the situation running high on Hackshaw. So the entire back line now with cards shown against Swahi and Hackshaw, the players that got tied up with one another.
You got to keep your head. There's 20 minutes left in this match. Well, there's plenty of time to get the equalizer.
Frankly, I appreciate the restraint of the referee not trying to make a decision that
100%
could have affected the outcome of the match. He's trying to let the players decide it. Hubbard on the clearance. And it's wide. And you still got plenty of time if you're Indy. Starikov finds Illich. Illich and Paco Craig. Not just guys that were teammates in Louisville, but they both attended the same school. Both played at Young Harris College, Division II in northeastern Georgia. Illich, the Serbian. Paco, the native of England. Farr couldn't find his target, and again, Farr is laboring. Which means that even if this gets 2 penalties, even if Indy can find a goal here, you got to worry about his ability from a shot-stopping perspective, and you cannot sub him out. But first things first, you got to get 1 if you're Indy. Swahi lets that ball through. Pasher nearly beat him to it. Can Pasher keep it in play? No. Goal kick. The Swahi played that a bit casually.
You can't. You got to know where Pasher is at all times.
You ask the question, how much does he have left in the tank? Turn on the Jets for that moment.
If you're a champion, you've got it. You'll find it.
And Openo the equalizer after Pasher scored to make it 1-0. And then Rasmussen scored and exited stage left immediately, as did Openo after scoring his goal. Their races have been run. Great win by Navoa. Starikov couldn't get to it. Starikov neither a goal nor an assist this year after scoring 6 a season ago. And Barrett fouls Spencer. And there's little that Barrett can say at this point. You just have to just take the whistle and head back.
I'm gonna tell you, it's tough. When you find Spencer's feet, he is able to shield a guy with the strength of Patty Barrett off the ball.
Watson.
Might have been better served just taking the throw in there.
Spencer. To be one additional minute in this first stanza of added extra time. Davis got in the way of that run by Hackshaw. And there'll be a minimal break between these two 15-minute sessions.
Here you go.
As the teams exchange ends. Foul against Davis. And again, knowing only about 30 seconds left before this 15 minutes are over, you can frankly take more of a chance. You can throw some more numbers forward. Farr not exiting his half of the field. Iose sends it in.
They got to clear that first line.
Jimenez got there first. Iose around Davis. Now Gibson. Gibson delivers back post. Ownby knocks it away.
There you go. There you go.
Corner coming. And again, this corner will be the last action of this frame. So any moment that ball is cleared from the 18, whistle will sound.
And you got one of the best servers in the league in Iose taking this corner kick. He just took the restart, did not clear that first line. He rarely makes back-to-back bad decisions.
Iose delivers. Ball headed down. Gibson a settling touch. Pasher lets fire. Could not keep it on frame. End of the first 15 minutes. Wow. So the teams converse quickly. And then they will flip ends of the field.
Almost thought Tyler Gibson was going to pull an Openo there and strike that ball, put it on frame, and just try and weave one through traffic.
15 minutes of overtime down. 15 minutes of overtime left to go. Lou City 2, Indy 11-1. And here's the goal that put Lou City in front. Rasmussen, number 16. Sham, the back heel. If you give the hockey assist, Ownby set it up.
Hey, you give the effort to Ownby. He's created both of the goals through his effort and opportunity. But you got the team's leading scorer, 15 goals. You got to make sure that you know where he is at all times, especially when he's in the 18.
Martin Rennie, what's your message to your guys right now?
You know, you're creating some chances like this. You got to keep your head. You can't let frustrate. You can't look to try and push it too fast where you're just banging that ball up front. There's still a lot of time. Build, build, build. If you find the opportunity to put Pasher into space, do it. Otherwise, I really like playing that ball through Iose.
And you see Farr is being worked on the sidelines. He's going to gut it out, so clearly he's got a knock. You see the ribs being taped up. This is a young man that, again, did not play last year a minute, but dressed as the sub in case he was needed, and basically did so with a separated shoulder because he got hurt in training camp. So he's been known to gut it out, take one for the team. He has no choice. All the subs have been used. He'll soldier on for at least 15 minutes more. 50 minutes left to go. John able to walk the tightrope and keep that in play, but couldn't keep possession of the turn. Novoa, right idea, the passer, but just a bit too strong on the pass.
It's a little bit of build, Look for the opportunity. 15 minutes to go. You'll have a couple of really good looks. You just have to execute in that moment.
And that's a foul. Ownby draws the whistle, and Ownby shown a card. Ouimet. He has spent some time on the turf today.
And I'll tell you what, you've got a guy, not just for his ability, his touch, his tactical sense in the game, but you got a guy like Iose, and you got him in for moments like this because he can put that ball wherever it needs to be. And he and Ouimet have been on the same page virtually for 2 years. If they can find each other on this one, get the equalizer.
Iose sends it in. Jimenez got there first. Watson tries to steer it back into the attack. Now Gibson.
Oh, good touch.
Lifts it for Hackshaw. Hackshaw tracked by Davis and Sawahi. That will not be a throw in that, or excuse me, not a corner, but a throw in. Starikov trying to carve out some real estate. Flicks it for Illich. Illich for Novoa. Now Gibson. Gibson gives it a go. That deflected. That's a corner.
There you go.
Gibson basically has not scored in 8 months. Looking for his first goal since March the 15th. Obviously, he created the assist last week on the Patcher game winner.
Oh, what a ball that was.
Iose again. Novoa couldn't get there. Davis did. And now the race is on to the other end. Jimenez will play this to the sidelines, and he's fouled. And Iose offers a pat on the back knowing he committed the mistake.
That's tough. You needed a better ball on that corner. You needed a better serve.
Del Piccolo finds Spencer. Spencer not walking this to the corner flag just yet. Ownby plays it across. Schaub looking for it.
Wow.
It'll be a goal kick. Schaub touched it last.
Clever, too. Clever. Just darts around the side of Hackshaw enough to get a touch on the ball.
Possession along the back line will not be argued by Lou City at this point. It's once that ball gets to a midfielder or a forward that they will converge on the play. Hackshaw sizes up his options. Novoa lets it run through, but
tough one.
Had nobody behind him.
Great job by Lou City just to really compact themselves defensively and deny really any kind of opportunity for Hackshaw to play the ball to feet.
Frankly, in that scenario, the only ball you can play is almost the ball that Gibson played to Pasher a week ago. That route one ball down the middle trying to split the center backs. Now McCabe, the back heel for Ownby. And Ownby elects for possession. Ownby couldn't play that. He was in an offside position. Ouimet trying to find Pasher. He got behind the defense. Flag was down. That ball got to him. It may not have been. And a throw-in coming here by Ouimet. Approximately 10 minutes left to go. Indy's got to find one. And Craig.
You need a little bit more build-up. You can't just allow Lou City to knock the ball around and you're defending with fewer numbers because you got to push guys up. Build a little bit. Keep the ball. Wait for that right opportunity and then strike.
There's Obi. Far late to it. Collision. And is that going to be a penalty? And Far in a state of disbelief about that call. Ownby on the turf. The conversation continues. Ownby remains on the turf. But if it's a penalty, this could be curtains. Take a look here.
And it's Ownby again. The energy, the pace, the peskiness.
Far late to it. And a point to the spot for our referee. And it's Spencer that is lining up for it. So the rookie has to stop a PK to give Indy a fighting chance. And Indy is trying to buy a little time here, but at the same time, you're taking time off the clock in case you got to get one or two. And again, Far is playing hurt. So exactly how quick off of his line will he be? So the Indy players told to clear away from the spot. Spencer, 9 goals this season. Ownby still in recovery mode after that collision.
I tell you, big saves in moments like this are momentum changers.
Far trying to be as big as he can be. Spencer looking to put it away. The hesitation, the goal. It's 3 for Lou City. And that could be 3 in terms of Eastern Conference championships. Well, for Indy, you try to find one. Give yourself a chance. But it certainly appears that Lou City is adding another chapter to their franchise's history and legacy in 5 short years. Seven minutes to try to find 2. First things first, you got to find 1. Iose, Illich, great hustle to track down that ball. At the edge of the 18, Novoa. Iose left foot.
What a hit.
Didn't miss by much. You just got to keep plugging if you're Indy.
Yeah, and you look at Lou City, they clicked off a little bit on that. Illich was able to come and get that ball that Lou City thought was going to run over for a goal kick.
Didn't miss it by much. We saw Iose with a brace earlier this season. 3 goals this year for the guy that normally generates offense for others. It's something that Louisville did last week. They're lining up to do again. Pittsburgh had not lost at home all season. Louisville beat them. Indy has not lost at home all season. Louisville leads 3 goals to 1 in added extra time. Last time Indy 11 lost a home match, July 4th of last season. Watson trying to work his way around Ownby. That's a foul.
Got to make this count. Got to make this count.
Far is up at midfield. It's a 2-man wall being shown by Lou City. They'll have to back up well inside the 18. The sun has set, the moon is on display over downtown Indianapolis. And our paperweights are giving way after 115 minutes. Only Pasher outside of the 18 for Indy. Iose sends it in. Hubbard.
Wow.
Left no doubt. Now, he may have given a knock to his own player, and Paco Craig in the effort.
That is a tough ball to come out and collect. That's when you'd think that you'd punch out there, but the confidence that he had in traffic is impressive.
But other than the save he made on Kelly in the first half, that's the best play he's made the entire match. Again, Hubbard, one of the new faces for this Lou City team, replacing Greg Ranchetsik now in Orlando City. Iose dials up the bicycle. Sarikoff the flick. Pasher got ahead to it. Pasher with the right foot leaves for Sarikoff.
Oh, my goodness.
Not hit it. That ball still in play. And finally trickles across the touchline for a throw-in.
And even though it's on his right side, we've seen Pasher cut the defender to the inside and use his right foot. And it almost looked like he had that window back post.
And again, for Starikov, he has seen a minimal amount of playing time late in the year. That's a tough ask to come on and hammer that one. Ball played across, so Wahi sends it out. Novoa couldn't get it around Speedy Williams. No foul given there. But Ownby, ball remains in play. Thought he might deflect that off an Indy 11 player. Now Iose. Pasher, the lead for Iose. Great find to Watson. Barrett. Right idea. You got to score two, so you can't wait forever. Just didn't keep it on frame.
And you got Louisville with 10 guys in the box, so you got to look at something that can maybe give you a heartbeat.
If this one ends the way it appears it's going to, it's been a phenomenal year for the Indy 11. But knowing how close you were, it's going to sting for a while. Seconds away from hosting the USL Championship Cup Final. Openo levels a goal in each of the overtime sessions. Jobs playing without a shoe. He and Hackshaw collided, and whistle given so he can put the footwear back on, and time is being stopped to allow that to happen. The time is about to stop on this match. But the run of success for Lou City is going to continue on. And this is one of the great stories in American soccer. And Watson gives the foul and immediately puts a hand in the back of Ownby, and he'll understandably get the card.
Yeah, and that'll kill off into the 30 to 40 seconds, and the guy that does it is the same guy that played a role in all three goals.
Set up the corner kick that allowed Openo to score. Played the ball that played the ball for goal number 2. Drew the foul that earned the penalty for goal number 3. I think there's little doubt that Brian Ownby is the man of the match.
Absolutely.
For Lou City today.
Absolutely. And we said it early on in the first 5-10 minutes of this match. You got to watch his pace. He's pesky. He just keeps buzzing around and creating things with his energy and his pace.
Spencer will walk this to the corner flag for a third consecutive year, barring something beyond miraculous at this stage. The USL Cup Final will be played in Louisville.
That's incredible. Just incredible.
7:30, ESPN2 and ESPN Deportes. Jean lifts it. As far came off his line. Barrett finds Hackshaw. And Iose distributes to Watson. By the way, 3 additional minutes left to go. Still a flicker of hope. Ball lifted back post. Navoa leads for Hackshaw. Hackshaw.
Oh, tough angle. You got to drive that ball back into the box.
The Indy 11, 2 rungs further on the USL playoff ladder than a season ago. But their ending point appears to be the same team. The smoke billowing from the opposite end for the Brickyard Battalion, as it appears it's not going to be used next Sunday night. Jam,
of course,
has an angle. Jam couldn't cut it back.
He's just been phenomenal tonight.
And through the billowing smoke, Farr clears it. Everybody's got to go forward. Davis, the lead. Illich.
Oh. It's barely still reachable. That would have given you just a glimmer of hope.
I think back to a high school semifinal played a couple of weeks ago. Each team scored once, but both teams scored in the final 61 seconds. So it's possible. And Louisville at this point set to host either El Paso Locomotive or Real Monarchs next Sunday night. This Indy 11 season, first time they've won 2 playoff games in a single year. Most road wins in franchise history. Most points in franchise history. Most wins in a season in franchise history. Navoa couldn't get there. Sawahi will hit that ball somewhere towards the remainder of the IUP-UI campus. But this Indy 11 season appears headed towards its ending destination. By the way, Real Monarchs have just scored. So they lead El Paso 2-1. And that is an added extra time. It's going to be a fun trip home for Lou City and their great fans that made it up I-65 tonight. And that's it. Once again.
Wow.
Lou City FC, Eastern Conference champions.
Impressive performance by Lou City.
3 goals after the 90th minute in regulation. The season over for the Indy 11. A tremendous season. But again, this one will be a tough pill to swallow heading into the offseason.
Oh, it is tough. You had it. You were a minute away from the finals, and it comes down to decision making and execution in these critical moments. And in that last minute of the match, Lou City's execution in that critical moment was sharper than Indy 11's.
Opino, Rasmussen, and from the spot, Spencer combined to deliver Lou City an 11 straight playoff victory. They will play for the championship next Sunday. Our Central Indiana Highlanders postgame show comes your way next on Wish TV and ESPN+.
Hello, sweet girl. Hey, get our fan. Yes. Yes. Abdul.
Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by Community Health. Dream big, work hard, finish strong. Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. And by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, proud to be the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. After a 3-1 loss in the Eastern Conference Final, there is a need for West Fork Whiskey. Time to bring you our West Fork Whiskey shot of the game. West Fork Whiskey, Indiana's premier whiskey distillery. So often this year, Tyler Pasher delivered a game-winning goal. If the lead had held, it would have been the 6th time this season. 1-0 Indy. They held that lead until the 94th minute. Louisville found an equalizer. They found 2 and added extra time. 3-1 the final score today. But another great moment in Indy 11 franchise history, just seconds away from putting it away. Louisville, their championship medal on display yet again as they're off to the USL Cup final for a 3rd consecutive year.
Heartbreaking. Great game. Heartbreaking the way that it ended. But I tell you what, it's a great example of how you got to play the whole 90 minutes. You can't disconnect at any point. And so impressed by that fighting spirit in Lou City, to just keep pushing and scratching and clawing and then pulling one back in the dying seconds of the match.
You see them setting up for the trophy presentation for Lou City. We'll bring that to you. We'll have an abbreviated version of the Central Indiana Honda Dealers post-game show coming up after this. Lou City does it again. The season now in the past tense for the Indy 11. It was a phenomenal year for the boys in blue, but it comes up a win or two just short. Stay tuned. Our post-game coverage continues next on your home for Indy 11 Soccer, Wish TV and ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
AFC Rifles on an unprecedented 3rd consecutive Eastern Conference Championship. Thank you fans for your long support for Indiana's team in the 2019 season. We look forward to seeing you back in Lucasfilm Stadium next season. On behalf of everyone here at Indy 11 and the USL, please travel home safely.
Okay, gotcha. Great season, Coach. Starting in the way you wanted it to.
Yep. You guys want to do this soon, or?
Yeah, we're waiting for the commercial break to be over.
Okay. Okay.
Not the scoreline we hope to bring to you at the end of this match. 3-1, Lou City FC, Eastern Conference champions. We begin our Central Indiana Honey Dealers post-game show. Gracious to join us after, I know, a very tough defeat. Head coach of the Indy 11 in Martin Running. Coach, I know long-term you can appreciate this season and what a wonderful season it was. It's got to be tough on you right now. Just your thoughts on the way things unfolded there at the end.
Yeah, obviously it's devastating at the moment. We were so close to winning it in normal time. We'd put together a good performance, hardly given up any chances, scored a great goal. So yeah, really disappointing not to win the game in normal time. And then, you know, the game was still pretty close in extra time, and I felt like the penalty that was given away was not a penalty. I was pretty close to it, and I saw that it was Jordan got to the ball first, so that would have made the game close right to the end, but the penalty kind of killed it off. So as you say, we've had a great season, but no doubt it's disappointing to lose right now.
What is it that makes this team that you competed against today, what makes them so tough to defeat?
I think they've just been on a run for a long time of winning games, and once you do that, then it's like slaying a giant, and we just about did. But right in the last second, they still had that belief that something could happen, and that's what made the difference.
I'll tell you, both teams played their game plans really, really well. Them looking to build through the target and run off of that. And then with the pace of Kelly and Pastor up top, you guys looking to thread that ball through, and Pastor was able to get one there in the second half. What were your thoughts as it got into the later in the game about tweaking tactics or when you were up, and then also any changes that you were thinking about making when you guys went down?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things is it's difficult probably for both teams to play the way they want to play on this field. It's very difficult to get the passing and the ball moving the way we would like to. So I think that affected both teams' tactics a little bit. Obviously, once you're down, you have to try and chase the game a little bit, but still make sure that there's enough presence in midfield so that you're not being overrun. I felt that we actually had a few decent chances. Obviously, we had great chances on the break to make it 2-0. Didn't take them, and that came back to haunt us. But then in extra time, we actually had quite a few decent chances around the goal and didn't hit the target, so that was disappointing. But probably another days for analysing. I think right now is just to wish Louisville well and move on.
We're going to get to Matt Watson coming up in a matter of moments. So one final question, and you just kind of led into it as far as the analyzing standpoint. But how do you take the great success you've had this season and build on it to even newer heights in 2020 and beyond?
Yeah, well, we just need to take what we've done this year, and we need to improve. We need to add probably a couple more players. We need to improve on a few things. Today was one of those days where we probably feel like we should have closed the game out better than we did, but we've done that well all season. So we just have to learn from the mistakes that we've made, but keep building. The club's obviously in a far stronger position than it was a couple of years ago when we started, but I think we're going to become one of the powerhouses in the USL, and we made a good step towards it this season.
Go have a pint or two, my friend. You and I will talk a little bit in the very near future. Congratulations on a wonderful year.
Okay, thank you.
Martin Running, courteous enough to join us during the course of the post-game show. The team captain of the Indy 11 in Matt Watson, gracious enough to be standing by. We'll talk to him coming up in a matter of moments as well. Again, not the celebration that we had hoped to show you in the course of the post-game show. And while it's going to be tough to digest this one from an Indy 11 standpoint, you still can acknowledge the greatness on the other side that is Louisville City.
Absolutely. And as frustrating as right now, you do got to tip your hat to the fight that was in Lou City. And you can't overlook the incredible run that the 11 had this season. I mean, it was just a really fantastic season and on so many different levels. And, so many guys endeared themselves to the community, not just on the field, but in the stuff that they do as far as appearances and camps. Just a great overall run this year for the 11.
Well, again, also gracious to join us after a tough defeat. Team captain Matt Watson. Matt, so close, my friend. Just kind of walk us through how those last 30 minutes unfolded and how you kind of deal with this going forward.
Yeah, it's tough, I mean, obviously we had the whole game in our hands, and it felt like we were going to make it to the finish line, and we didn't quite get there, and that disappointment's tough to overcome. And then once we went to the second half, you know, they've got a little bit of buzz about them, and you know, we fell asleep a couple of times and we paid the price ultimately. I mean, football, things can change so quick. You know, one minute you have everything in your hands and you're in control, and then it just gets taken away from you. So the scoreline feels a bit harsh personally. I mean, I don't think they were that much better than us, but it is what it is.
When Tyler Pasher scores that goal, do you think, hey, that's enough? We've got this thing wrapped up?
I mean, it's basically what happened the last two games. You know, it feels like that was the pattern that was going on. You know, when he scored it, I think, okay, we closed this thing out, but wasn't to be. That, I mean, credit to them. They kept on going right to the final whistle. Then they reaped the rewards for that.
The tactics changed during your run in that game significantly. You came in under one set of circumstances, then the game changed. Then, you know, so tactically, as the game moves to different places and your role changes in that, how do you make those adjustments?
You know, I mean, personally, I'm a veteran. I've played a little bit of everything, so it's pretty easy for me. Coach is telling me what to do, and obviously, when we're ahead, we're just trying to stay behind the ball, be compact, things like that, make them go around the outside and hold on for the win. And then the circumstances did change, and we had to go forward a bit more. So, I mean, you know, attacking's a little bit easier. So, you know, I got to get forward a bit more, create a couple of chances, but unfortunately we didn't take them.
Matt, I know it was a great second season for you here in Indianapolis. We certainly hope there is a third season coming up in February and March. Thanks for the time after a tough one. We greatly appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Matt Watson, team captain of your Indy 11. As the sun is setting, you could say that on the Indy 11 season as well. It's off to the finals for Lou City FC. In added extra time, they beat Indy 11 3-1. We'll keep talking about it next on the Central Indiana Honda Dealers post-game show.
You gentlemen got my good side.
Well, how does Lou City add to back-to-back championships? Well, you go for playing for a third. But we mentioned that 11-match winning streak they've had in playoff competition. First 9 of those were all at home. Last 2 on the road against 2 teams that did not lose at home until they played Louisville at the end of the season. Devastating result in terms of in the immediacy of the next few days for the Indy 11. Great season, but another tip of the cap to Lou City as they win this one 3-1. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you on Wish TV as well as ESPN+. Again, it's one of the greatest stories in American soccer going right now, Louisville City.
Yeah, it is. And you talked about the, on the road for both of these. You talked about taking down teams that hadn't lost all season. But in both of those games, they had to come from behind and win it in extra time. And the the heart of a champion and what it takes to be a champion was on full display here tonight.
The bar has been raised yet again by the team directly south of us in Indianapolis. A look back at the match highlights in this contest. Again, the first goal belonged to Indy 11, and it belonged to Tyler Pastor, his 13th of the season.
And a great decision. I mean, I think his coach was closing him down, and I really thought he was going to take another touch and have a finish, but at the pace the defender was coming in, he knew he had to hit it from the top of the box.
The last two playoff wins had been 1-0, and it looked like this was going to be 1-0 as well. Dying moments of regulation, a ground ball with eyes from Antoine Opano in the 94th minute, and it ties us at a goal apiece.
Unbelievable finish with as much energy as he spent during this match, tracking things down in the corner. It was just a phenomenal finish, but the game belonged to Brian Ownby today. I mean, he created all 3 goals through his effort and his energy.
It took 4 minutes in the first session of overtime from Ownby to Jam to Rasmussen, his 16th, and then the penalty called against Jordan Farr, the penalty converted upon by Luke Spencer, his 10th goal of the season, and it sets us up 3-1 in favor of Lou City. Final thoughts on this season when we come back. From 4-2 is how it goes this weekend, from the conference finals to the USL Championship. And the 4 seeds will meet in Louisville next Sunday night. Real Monarchs, Lou City FC, 7:30 on ESPN2 and ESPN Deportes. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder, back with you for a final time for 2019 for Indy 11 Soccer on Wish TV. Brad, how do you sum up this great season?
Well, I'll tell you what, it stings right now, but I think, you sit back a little bit and you take a look at all of the accomplishments and the great moments from this season, and you got to look back and smile. They did take a bunch of steps forward as a franchise.
The Indy 11 season number 6 is now in the books. When you make this deep of a playoff run, it does not take long for season number 7 to commence. Player transactions will take place the next few weeks. Training begins in January, preseason friendlies in February, and regular season matches in March. We'll be back for season number 7 because Brad and I signed lifetime contracts a long time ago. For Brad and our entire Raycom crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Thanks for joining us all season long for Indy 11 Soccer.